conspiracy is the judges were in on it too, and someone should look in on the judges. This is what Andrew McCarthy said on Fox News, and Trump retweeted, and Hugh Hewitt, and all these people.
The judges personally picked by John Roberts.
Right. And look, and a lot of national security experts and legal people said we shouldn't focus too much on the fact that they're Republican-appointed judges, because just because they're judges and the judiciary is supposed to be independent should be enough for people. But it is worth pointing out that, yes, they were all Republican-appointed judges selected by John Roberts.
And I also think what's important to note is we're learning a lot of this, but Devin Nunes isn't.
Because he hasn't read the application.
Devin Nunes put together a memo. First of all, if we remember, he defeated himself in the memo, right? Because we actually learned from Devin Nunes' attempt to discredit this FISA application that it was also based on Papadopoulos and that came first. So he kind of began discrediting himself earlier. But I also think we're in this debate now where we're debating whether or not the FISA application was legitimate. The FISA application is what, 400 pages? Mm-hmm. It is an extraordinary document. It is it has, first of all, tons of it is blacked out and redacted. So we have actually
the good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff. That they're saving that for later. That is for the series finale.
That is season 3.
Yeah, we don't get that. We don't get that yet. We're gonna get 30 years from now. There's gonna be, we'll read it in Axios.
Yeah.
But so
we'll finally get to the wall.
Go deep.
Big fight will happen.
Axios will release it, and of course they'll have the long form version, which is 7 words. But of course, if you're too busy, there'll be a 2-word version.
It's just this good shit.
But the 3 of us got into this debate over the evolving explanations for the problems with the FISA application. Started with saying that the Steele dossier was the cause. Then it was, the Steele dossier's provenance wasn't revealed. Now it's just, this seems weak and the judges are in on it. They're kind of running out of legs to stand. Their stool is out of legs, as I often say.
I mean, but that is the big takeaway.
Yeah.
Which is
but let me just finish the point, which is only that what we're talking about is a ton of evidence about a conspiracy involving a foreign government to involve themselves in a presidential campaign and collude with the Donald Trump campaign and then administration. What we're talking about, the scale of the scandal is sometimes lost in the debate over these picayune details about this warrant. But you read the thing and you read the little excerpts, you're like, this is the FBI screaming, holy shit, there is a massive, massive conspiracy. It is incredibly dangerous and we need to find out what's going on.
The big picture takeaway for me is that Trump's biggest defenders, the worst fringe right-wing media, the MAGA dead-enders like Kim Strassel and Hugh Hewitt, Trump's kids, House Republicans, they will lie and cherry-pick.
There's no explanation.
Black is white, up is down. They don't care. It is so brazen. And the bigger problem here is no one in the Republican Party is really checking them. Like Marco Rubio, who we criticize a lot on the show, to his credit, went on the Sunday shows and pushed back on the notion that this application showed what he was doing. But these guys, they refuse to stand up to Trump for so long. And like every bully ever in the history of reality and film saw weakness and pushed and pushed and pushed until we got to here. And so, Paul Ryan has allowed Devin Nunes to run the House Intelligence Committee, and it's been completely politicized. And we're in a place where there's just one news channel and one right-wing media ecosystem believes one thing based on an identical document. And it is hard for me to wrap my brain around how weird and crazy and dangerous that is.
Well, because they've also succeeded in making this a fight about whether Devin Nunes is an idiot or a liar or not. When
that's clear.
Right. when the real takeaway, like you were saying, is like, oh my God, the FBI had a problem with cause. Judges agreed with them that Carter Page was leading an effort to collude with the foreign government, who we know now, because they've been indicted for this, sabotaged our election.
And references many other people. Sorry,
and potentially other people. And specifically, one thing that has been public for a while, but is not talked about, the fact that Carter Page went to Moscow shortly before he joined the campaign, and then the Republican convention was held. And even though the entire Republican establishment did not want the platform to be changed to be more pro-Russia than it was, somehow the Trump campaign decided to make the platform more pro-Russia.
It was right
when Manafort started on the campaign. It was after Carter Page went to Russia, and the FBI said, we have probable cause to believe that these people are involved in collusion.
And I just wanted to Thomas point to all these people that are kind of going out on a limb now to continue to claim that there's a problem with the FISA application, with this investigation. They are doing it out of a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is they allowed themselves to be co-opted, and admitting now that they got taken for a ride by Devin Nunes is somehow too hard to admit. And so instead, they say, I know I said that the dossier was used in a fraudulent way, but actually it's just that now the overall application is weak. No one who is now making these claims that this application has a problem would be doing it if they hadn't gone out on a limb because Devin Nunes lied to them. And admitting that they were dupes of Devin Nunes and the Trump administration is, I think, hard for some people.
Tough for the intellectual Zambonis.
But
it is.
To your point about the platform, I mean, Putin's wish list is not long and it's not subtle. You know, I mean, he doesn't like the Magnitsky sanctions. He wants those to go away. He doesn't want us to give lethal support to Ukraine. He comes back to the same things over and over again publicly and has his little cutouts and intermediaries run these ideas up against Don Jr. and Manafort and Jared and the gang privately. So, again, the whole thing is in plain sight.
Right.
Sitting right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only piece that remains a mystery is why Donald Trump himself behaves with such solicitousness towards Vladimir Putin. The rest is all kind of right there out in the open for all of us to see, except there's just one piece of information we're missing, and it may involve urine,
or it may involve the fact that Vladimir
money laundering,
Putin, or that Vladimir Putin kept evidence that Trump went along with all of his wishes on the wish list.
Yeah, we don't know.
So,
we don't know.
So as if all of this weren't enough, Trump caps off the weekend by all caps tweeting the following to the president of Iran on Sunday night: "Never ever threaten the United States again, or you will suffer consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. We are no longer a country that will stand for your demented words of violence and death. Be cautious." Great kicker there. Be cautious.
That's like driving your car 120 miles an hour down the highway and screaming "Be cautious" out the window at people you blast by. Like, you calm down, psychopath.
It looks like a speech from Armageddon. You expect there to be kind of orange and blues and kind of a Dutch angle and Aerosmith playing.
Yeah. Tommy, what was that all about, and how freaked out should we be?
The Trump team has started this sort of PR effort where they're talking about corruption among top regime officials. The goal is essentially to weaken and destabilize the regime and try to punish them for their nuclear program. And so I haven't seen a lot of intelligence on Iran in many, many years, but I suspect this plan to criticize and destabilize the current Iranian regime seems more likely to create a void that will be filled by the IRGC and military leaders like Qasem Soleimani, etc. I also think
there's bad people that we don't like.
Bad guys who run the military and are accused of terrorist acts. Secretary of State Pompeo is out there giving these speeches saying he wants to talk to the Iranian people and help their quality of life, but he forgets that they're all suffering because we pulled out of the Iran deal, and now they're going to get sanctioned again, and Trump's Muslim ban prevents them from entering the country. So, a smart reporter from NPR pointed out that when Putin released a video of allegedly invincible ICBMs with warheads striking Mar-a-Lago, Trump didn't respond with a crazy all-cap tweet, but, it's good politics to go after Iran, so here we are.
There's larger questions about their policy towards Iran. But when Donald Trump picks up the phone to do a big crazy tweet on a Sunday in a week in which we've seen stories about, the fact that his lawyer taped him, great lawyer, buddy. He chose a real top-notch lawyer there. And B, the fact that he's in the pocket of Vladimir Putin in a way that is now openly being discussed. It really felt to me like this is a guy shaking the Etch-a-Sketch and just trying to change the subject.
That was going to be my last question before we move on. Like, it is, when Trump goes on these rage tweet storms, you always wonder, like, is it just he happens to have a break in his schedule and he's pretty bored and he's been watching TV that got him upset? Is it some kind of a distraction, which I never usually think is true because he's not really playing chess here? Or is it something else? Does he know something's coming? It does seem like maybe this round has been, I want to change the subject from the Putin mess last week.
I think this is both. I totally agree with you. I mean, what time did he send that last night? Like 11 p.m.?
Yeah.
It was very late.
Late night.
I definitely think this and the stupid Rand Paul, let's go after people's security clearances thing, like they're targeting John Brennan trying to strip him security clearance. This is like, I think, chum in the water to create a news story. But the Iran stuff does dovetail with a policy decision. Like in 3 weeks, we're going to reimpose banking sanctions that were suspended after the Iran deal, and we've told all these other countries that they have until November to stop buying oil and gas from Iran. So, like, it is kind of converging in a strange way, a strange, terrifying, potentially destabilizing way.
Right. I just think he looked at a buffet of distraction options and thought the Iran one would work.
And he was right.
Well, part of me, honestly, I hope a tweet from him does distract, because at a certain point, as the news for him gets worse and worse, he's going to need to find more and more heinous and outsized ways of distracting us. And man, if he starts figuring out that words don't work, I'm going to get very nervous.
Yeah.
So North Korea goes from little rocket man to his good pal Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin, buddy that he's inviting to the White House, and now Iran, angry with them, all caps threat tweet.
No bueno.